Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the virtual North Wilkesboro Speedway here in North Carolina. It is Heat 1 of XCAL Racing in advance of tomorrow night's Higgins Spotter Pack 350, the top 3 transfer on. This heat is brought to you by Sim Racer Coin. Sim Racer Esports meets crypto and blockchain technology. Earn Sim Racer coins, buy setups, paints, coaching, or join realistic leagues. Learn more at simracercoin.org. Sim Racer Coin. Racing is life. We have got a packed house, a whopping 23 drivers expected to take the green for Heat 1, the top 3 transfer, and we've got a huge entry list for tonight where no one is safe. For tomorrow night, 45 cars on the entry list. I believe it's actually 44 now, but it should be a good one. Stream time for the feature tomorrow night, 7:20 p.m. on Twitch and Facebook's How to Suck at iRacing page. I will be on the call for that, so we are definitely looking forward to those races. So, ladies and gentlemen, it looks like we are all set to go here, and let's give you the starting lineup for Heat Race number 1. It is Riley Duncan in his XCAL debut, who's been fast all weekend in practice. Austin Edwards, who is trying to help the 062 car get in. He's not racing tomorrow, but he's allowed to be in the heats. He is in row 1. Row 2, it's Aiden McConaughey and Greg Holes. The third row, Bowen Smith. Now driving, it's his only one shot. See if he can be a true XCAL driver. Chase Johnson next to him. On the fourth row, it is Sean Andrews and Steven Rex. Rounding out the top 10, it's Shane Briggs and Tyler Jalbert. Row number 6, Rafael Semprich and Daniel Miller. Joe Campbell, Jeff Edgar make up row 7. Jonathan Schwartz and John Fraley, the teammates, in row 8. Brandon Cruz Monsivez in row 9 with Logan Jones. Jose Gaudino and Jared Poole in row 10. Row 11, Chris Spangler and Kenny Tripp. And rounding out the 23 car field is Jeremy Leto in the 17. So that is how the lineup looks. Let's get final words here from Aaron Halebush and PDJ Zeller.
Restart, I want everyone to be right up on each other. Let's remember, this is going to be hectic. We're not foolish. We know this is going to be a little bit hectic here in the beginning. There's 23 of you going for 3 spots, and this heat usually is one of the less competitive ones in the day, although we do have some fairly big names in this heat race compared to usual. I just want to see good, clean racing out of all of you guys. Let's have a good race. When you guys come around to turn 3, I'm going to go over the restart zone with Riley.
Your words of wisdom there from XCAL Vice President and Interim Race Director, PDJ Zeller. You can see by the weather reports it is very hot, slick racetrack. Usually in these early heats, you don't want to be the one that's really leading in this, or most likely you could start in third. But with the top 3 transferring instead of the top 5, it's very tough to make it in via heat transfers, so keep that in mind. 2 pace laps around North Wilkesboro Speedway, a legendary, historic track in NASCAR. Closed in the 90s, reopened for short track leagues in 2010, 2011-ish, but was shut down early on. And now it's currently just dormant as we speak, and we hope it comes back to the Cup Series schedule soon. And thank goodness it is a treat for all of us to use on iRacing. It's throwback night too tomorrow night in XCAL Racing. You see Riley Duncan's got the Tim Richmond throwback number 25 Folgers machine. Another one you can see in 5th, Bowen Smith with the Alan Kowicki Hooters throwback, so that's very nice to see there. I believe this is the first time, speaking of Bowen in the number 2, first time in a couple of weeks we have seen that number 2 on the track. So here we go for heat race number 1. It's Riley Duncan, Austin Edwards that make up the front row. Pace truck is in. Here we go. Heat 1 is green from North Wilkesboro. Off of turn 2, Austin Edwards trying to take a peek inside for the race lead on Riley Duncan. The battle for the race lead. Aiden McConaughey currently holding on to that final transfer spot. They're loose in the back of the field. Some drivers scraping the wall. One driver is loose. That's the 23 of Andrews who makes contact with Stephen Rex. They get loose. Rex is around the 28, and that will bring out the first caution. Yes, it does. Yellow lights are on.
Wreck in turn 2 on lap 2. Not good, drivers. Not good.
So it was Stephen Rex in the 28 that got loose. You heard as you saw Rafael Semprich involved as well.
Yep.
Come on, Sean.
But Stephen Rex was the first guy we saw go around in the 28 via contact. Let's go to the replay and see what happened there in this situation.
We got 4 more of these.
So we'll have race radio on through race control. And we'll get this load up here for you. It was Andrews that got into Rex.
Somebody mic up when you are 2-2.
There's Semprich nowhere to go. Look at Tyler Jalbert with a little bit of Tokyo drifting there.
51, you're missing a wheel, or it's pretty much, yeah, just pull it in.
Let's take you on board here with the 74 of Semprich. See his perspective as he was trying to miss the wreck. On the high side, and Jalbert gets the left rear quarter, or excuse me, Rex gets the left rear quarter panel. Almost sent that car upside down. There's Kendrick Cryer. You could hear on the radio, or excuse me, that's not Kendrick Cryer. He drives the 15. That's Daniel Miller in the 51.
No
that
2-2 yet?
Lost the left
yet.
front tire and was told to bring it on into the pit. So tough break there for Stephen Rex. He'll have to go to heat race number 2 and ignore the those headers and footers there, but tough break for the driver of the number 28.
Just watch the replay. What the fuck was that, 23?
And we
Drive
apologize.
like your owner, I guess.
And we apologize for Rex's language. Obviously not happy. These drivers, by the way, keep in mind, are warned in Discord or in the chat that we are live.
2-2.
We got the 2-2. Let's get
Thank
the
you
call.
for the 2-2, and I can give you that view.
All right, I reviewed the accident. What happened there was a big pile-up, or shuffle, I should say, on the front stretch. Sean got forced down to the bottom of the racetrack. However, at that point, it was his responsibility to slow the car down and ensure that he enters turn 1 safely. He did not do that. He entered turn 1, drifted up about 1.5 lanes into Steve, and that's what caused the accident there. So that'll be the first assessed penalty of this heat race to Sean Andrews.
Sean Andrews there getting the EOL in this situation after the first yellow. That takes out Stephen Rex, Daniel Miller, Rafael Semprich. Tyler Jalbert, after saving that one, is back in 7th spot. The lights are off the pace truck. We are going green this time by. Let's reset the field for you as it looks. We're going to change the ticker so it shows that we are scrolling the entire time. Keep in mind the winner will start inside the top 3 tomorrow night. Austin Edwards, Riley Duncan, row 1. Aiden McConaughey, Bowen Smith, row 2. Greg Holtz, Chase Johnson, row 3. Tyler Jalbert, Jeff Edgar, row 4. Jonathan Schwartz and Joe Campbell round out the top 5. Edwards gets to fire first, crosses the line, and we're back to green. Great restart over Riley Duncan. Duncan cannot clear McConaughey. Aiden takes a peek downstairs for the runner-up spot as Bowen Smith's behind. The side-by-side battle in 4th. Duncan a little bit tight there on the corner. However, though, McConaughey bobbled there. I think he may have clipped that grass in turns 3 and 4, and that's going to cost him 2nd spot. Still has it, though, as Bowen Smith and Chase Johnson battle for 4th position. Funny thing, this was the track for Chase Johnson when he tried to make his first XCAL start during preseason. He wrecked in like every single heat race and got DQ'd due to that situation. But now look at him. He's an XCAL winner at USA and has just done incredibly great so far. This is going to be one of those tracks where the low line will be key in 3 and 4, but in 1 and 2, you don't want to go all the way down low, especially when it comes to the pit exit situation. Edwards continues to lead. Riley Duncan second. Aiden McConaughey third. Bowen Smith takes a peek inside for that final spot. You're on board with the 2 of Smith. Fell back there a little in turns 3 and 4. Meanwhile, it's a mess in the back of the pack. You got 2x2 racing here in a flurry of cars here. At least 10 drivers under a blanket in a battle for numerous positions on track. Edwards has opened the lead up to a 3/4 of a second lead. We are still focusing on that battle for second between Riley Duncan and Aiden McConaughey. I should say if you win, you start inside the top 5, rather. So any starting spot, pretty much, if you're in the top 3, it's going to be really good. You're going to have a really good starting spot in North Wilkesboro if you finish top 3 in the heats. If there was a top 5 situation, like 4th and 5th, then you would probably see drivers, I'm gonna park it, I'm going to wait till next heat. And also, as well, you got to keep in mind the drivers with the faster lap, too. Here goes McConaughey. Looks down to the bottom on Duncan for second spot. Bowen Smith waiting in the wings as well. From your aerial shot, McConaughey's got a run here, but Duncan's got the exit. He's got that momentum off of 2. This is a track where you can go side by side for numerous laps. Provides great racing at North Wilkesboro in the street stocks. Smith nearly puts a bumper there on McConaughey. And at the stripe by a bumper, it's Aiden for P2. McConaughey loose. Smith gives it the bumper. McConaughey goes around. And with Bowen Smith, the yellow lights are on.
Cars downloading the grass. There was an incident involving cars for a transfer position out of 2 and down the backstretch.
And yes, that is absolutely huge. Transfer spot on the line, and it's going to take those 2 out.
Keep an eye on your heads-up display. And please mic up on your 2-2 so P can do his D thing.
Let's look at a replay here and see what happened. Easy. Smith gives the bumper to McConaughey. I don't know how Duncan didn't go around. Does a nice job saving that car. And that puts Greg Holes into the final transfer spot. I'm going to give them credit, though. Nice save by the 2. Didn't give them major damage, though. Let's see if we can watch this in real time. Pretty simple. The chrome horn given Aiden McConaughey by Bowen Smith. Let's go on board with both of those drivers. We'll start things off here from the gearbox of Aiden McConaughey. My goodness, that was Greg Holes that nearly got taken out in the process. And let's go to Bowen Smith. So from that situation, before we get the 2-2, Smith's he's already called it a night, I believe, for heat race number 1. As for Chase Johnson, he's so glad the yellow comes out because he's not done yet, because he is back in 4th position. Again, the race sponsor tomorrow night, Higgins the XCAL Spotter Pack. Or Higgins the XCAL Superfan Spotter Pack, I should say. We should be getting a 2-2 any moment.
2-2.
There it is. We'll get the call.
Thank you for the 2-2.
All right. After reviewing that incident, for the first time on the receiving end will be Bowen Smith of an EOL. He just drove it a little bit deep in the corner, got into the back bumper of Aiden. Aiden got all sorts of sideways. And honestly, that one probably really didn't need to be a caution, but there was the 3rd place car at a 90-degree angle coming off turn number 2, just dead sideways. It looked like it was going to be a wreck, and we threw that one with an abundance of caution for the field. So that'll be Bowen's first success penalty of this heat race. Going green next time, Bob. Double up, double up, double up. Let's get this tight. Good restart here.
So you hear that? That was on Bowen Smith indeed. So we get ready for the restart. 30 laps to go in heat race number 1. Let's reset the field here for you. Austin Edwards and Riley Duncan make up row 1. Row 2, Greg Holes and Chase Johnson. Row 3, Jeff Edgar, John Schwartz. Row 4, Brandon Cruz, Monsivallez, and Joe Campbell. Top 10, John Fraley and Aiden McConaughey. Edwards gets to fire when he wants. Pace trucks in. Edwards goes. We're back to green. Watch that battle for third closely. That's going to be very good between Greg Holes and Chase Johnson. McConaughey, by the way, falls back to 9th after that situation. Watching this closely, John Schwartz, Jeff Edgar in the picture. Some of the allies there from Big Block and Twisted Chassis. And a nice Duke for P3. Again, this is a track you can go side by side for numerous laps without giving up. It's just incredible what this track can bring. Two laps away from being halfway. Higgins, the XCAL spotter pack, by the way, available now. Email $20 on PayPal to president at xcalracing.com. Works for any race you could think of. And it's just incredible. Nearly 3 wide there for 5th position, as Holes almost cleared Johnson there for P3. It was close. We're watching 5th. Schwartz clears Edgar. Monsivallez tried to take a peek underneath, but did not work there. Very close situation. Obviously, the big story coming out of the Big Block camp is Marty Sakala has purchased the team from PDJ Zeller, as Zeller is race director and not allowed to own a team of any kind in XCAL competition. Riley Duncan, by the way, in P2, dominant in practice all weekend. The main question is going to be if he can put it together for 350 laps. Clinus LaBeouf, by the way, also returning to the series, not in the field. We talked about Daniel Miller earlier on. He's out of the race as Dive Bomb Racing has signed him to the 51 for the rest of the season. Colson's been looking for a driver all season since John Domino stepped down from that ride. Monsivallez in the number 87. His first race in XCAL in a while for the Halinar Racing team. Ran 20 races, the entire schedule in 2014, and was a fan favorite. Continuing to watch that battle for third closely, Greg Holes and Chase Johnson, about a 2-car length gap between third and fourth. Now imagine, by the way, if we get a late race caution before we hit that 5 laps to go threshold. If that happens, I think we could see somewhere fresher tires could be the case. This is an abrasive track surface. Keep in mind, they haven't used this track since 1996 for NASCAR racing, and the concrete's really gotten worn out, or the asphalt, I should say. So yeah, biggest mover of the race so far, the hard charger, is Jonathan Schwartz, up 10 positions, started back in 15th. McConaughey trying to rebound after that second yellow. He's back in 6th, and now he's got a rear view mirror full of Jeff Edgar for P6 on the track. Joe Campbell currently in 9th. That's the best battle on track for 10th. Tyler Jalbert and Sean Andrews. Andrews, remember, has to be careful. He's got that EOL already from the spin with Steven Rex. Oh, Jalbert got loose on the entry. I think he wheel hopped it there into turn number 1, and the weapon currently standing in P11 makes a save. He's been extremely quiet in this heat race so far. It's very surprising to see out of Tyler Jalbert. Usually you see him as a very huge front runner. Again, that is the battle on track for the top 10 spot. To round it out, Joe Campbell now into this picture as well. John Fraley back in 12th, battling with ally Logan Jones. Jones with I believe that's a Kyle Larson scheme, and he gets way wide, almost gets into Fraley. That was a close call by those two drivers. Meanwhile, the gap between Holes and Johnson has gone down to about 0.4 of a second, and Holes is actually closed in on Riley Duncan for second. So Duncan may have possibly used up his tires a little bit too much. We're not too sure, though. We'll just have to see. Keep in mind, if any of these drivers do not make it through heat number 1, there's heats at 5, 7, 9, and 11 o'clock tonight. We will let you know, too, by the way, that that heat race number 2 will be broadcasted. Unfortunately, heats 3, 4, and 5 will not. Maybe heat 5, actually. Heats 3 and 4 will not. The reason why is because I have commitments with another league. News coming out today, I have taken a position at G-Force Racing League for Monday nights to broadcast their races, so I'm definitely looking forward to it. The heat races for me, a little bit for fun, I should say as well. So 8 o'clock I am doing 360 sprint racing for the B-class sprints tonight on G-Force Esports. And here we go, that's the battle for second and possibly a 6 through 10 starting spot in the race. Both of these drivers, by the way, did fulfill mandatory minimum practice. I was racing a bunch with the driver of the 25 earlier this week, and yes, all drivers did fulfill their MMPs. And Greg Holes for Rolling Thunder Racing up to second, but that got wicked close. We did have a crash, by the way, reported, and that was Gerald Poole in the 88. Excuse me. No yellow, though we stay green. Let's continue to watch that battle for a second. But that was close going down that back chute as Holes almost took Duncan out with him, and that could have absolutely changed everything. Meanwhile, Edwards has checked out of the pack. Nearly a 3-second lead over Greg Holes. So we've got 10 laps to go. And now the final spot up for grabs. McConaughey, after the second yellow, has closed in on Riley Duncan. Oh, can you believe this if he were to transfer after going through what he went through with Bowen Smith? Nine laps to go in heat 1. Gonna show you the top 5 for the rest of the way through, and here goes McConaughey. Duncan gave him room on down to the bottom, but they both go wide off of turn 4. 8 to go, it's Duncan at the stripe by about a door. McConaughey's got the preferred line. As Duncan got loose off of 2, that should help McConaughey out big time. Aiden's got P3 for now. And I think he could clear Duncan off of 4. Yes, he can. Aiden McConaughey into 3rd. 7 laps to go, and now Chase Johnson into the picture as well, currently running in 5th position. Now could McConaughey possibly make a run on Greg Holes for 2nd? McConaughey, the winner at Rockingham a couple of months ago in the XCAL Racing $2 Tuesday Series. Definitely a race that changed everything after a caution came out in the middle of green flag pit stops. Here's the control.
It was fun.
Here's the word coming from race control.
Green, green, green.
5 laps to go the rest of the way here in heat race number 1. And again, it's Austin Edwards with a 3-second lead, trying to put that 062 on the pole position possibly, or a top 5 starting spot. Greg Holes 2nd, Aiden McConaughey 3rd, Riley Duncan 4th, Chase Johnson 5th, Jonathan Schwartz is 6th, Jeff Edgar 7th, Brandon Cruz Monsivalla is 8th, and a pretty good first heat for the driver of the 87 for the first time in nearly 7 years, I should say. Tyler Jalbert 9th, Sean Andrews is 10th, Logan Jones 11th, John Friley 12th. Oh, one car loose, and that was Shane Briggs in the 999, currently in 14th. Chris Spangler in 15th, Jose Gaudino 16th, Jeremy Lutto 17th, Bowen Smith is 18th, Gerald Poole 19th, Rafael Semperich is 20th, Daniel Miller 21st, Kenny Triff 22nd, and 23rd is Steven Rex. So it's Edwards, Holes, McConaughey, your top 3 with 2 laps to go. Coming to the white flag next time by Austin Edwards, I don't believe we'll be able to race at all tomorrow. So he's trying to help out John Brancaccio start inside the top 5. Joe Blewett will be piloting the 66 that Edwards usually drives as we're on the final lap.
Yeah, Leto's lag is getting worse.
We had a spin in turns 1 and 2. Under half a lap to go. Edwards approaching lap traffic, but it's not going to be the case at all. A 3.5 second victory for Austin Edwards in the 062. Greg Holes comes home in second, and the battle for third. Duncan got it over Johnson. McConaughey backed out of it early on in that final lap.
What was that?
And Duncan does not like what Chase Johnson attempted to do.
All right, so that top 3 should be official. I don't see anything that would change to that. 062, 61, and 25 go to the main event. You guys cannot run any more heats for the rest of the evening. Jeremy, you were black flagged just because that was the 3rd time we spotted you blinking with a high ping. Just try to fix that internet issue before the next race. I apologize for not telling you right away, but just so you know, we did review that. That wasn't just because of what Daniel said. That was the 3rd time we observed you with a high ping and blinking. And per our policy, we give out a black flag for that.
We're going to check and see what happened with Aiden McConaughey.
Spike up a little bit sometimes. I never noticed like any cars interrupting or anything on my end.
But we are going to get to Austin Edwards in just a moment. If we can, hopefully. Trying to find him here. You're watching from the perspective, and I don't think we're going to actually get Austin Edwards, I should say. So we're watching McConaughey here. I'm trying to see how many laps to go this was when McConaughey was passed, because we don't have anything on our end. McConaughey comes home in 10th, so he relies on heat race number 2. I guess he didn't like wanting to start from 11 through 15, so he said, you know what, I'm going to back out of it, hope for faster lap time as the track starts to cool and the sunlight starts to go on down. I'm going to figure this out. What I'm actually going to do is I'm going to actually pop into iRacing and try and see when he backed out of it. So this is on that white flag lap. Does he pull it off of turn 2? Or did he bring it into the pits? I think he brought it into the pits. Yes, he did. As McConaughey said, yeah, you know what, I'm not going to do it. And that helps out Riley Duncan, who is locked in. So that is how 50 laps of XCAL go down in heat race number 1. Congratulations to Austin Edwards. Going to try and double check and see if he's in here. But Edwards, Holes, and Duncan, your top 3 that make it in. Johnson and Schwartz are your first 2 out. Again, I'm trying to see if Austin Edwards here is in the lobby. And I don't think he is. So he is not. So he will not be talking with anyone post-race. So we're going to pop up the race results for you at home and show you where your favorite driver finished at home. Only 2 yellows in this race, I should say, after Steven Rex spun in the first one. That took out Rafael Semprich, Daniel Miller, and others. And the second caution for Bowen Smith and Aiden McConaughey getting together. But that's your top 18 and how they finish on the track. We'll scroll down to the other group of drivers, and there you see 19 through 23 that did not finish. So if you're outside the top 3, you got 5 o'clock for the next heat race. Again, big congratulations to Austin Edwards on the top 5. He currently has the provisional pole with a 19.98. In fact, he was the only driver to have a 19-second time. This broadcast has been a presentation of XCAL Racing, the premier street stock leader in iRacing. So long, everyone.